I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love how they incorporated the kind of newer regime of guys who are just Triple H is trying to push with like the older legends. Because one of the big tropes with when Vince McMahon was like kind of the sign off with everything is these legend shows would often just have a big legend segment. They just beat up one of the young guys, and it's like, oh, that was it. Or like there's just a whole 25-minute segment with like an old faction just there, and you get really nothing out of it. But the thing with Raw is Triple X, the young stars benefited from that show. I like the Undertaker's involvement with the LA Knight Bray Wyatt thing. I like the fact how they use Gunther. I like all of it. Like I thought it was all well done. So yeah, that's another one. Like that, the anniversary shows, the incorporation of legends with the current guys and the current regime. I think that under Triple H is a tick from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, you really brought up a good point. But we saw it at the Royal Rumble. There was not an over reliance on established stars. And Triple H, like, he made us like forget about The Rock and forget about the possibility of Stone Cold showing up. And nobody cared that The Rock and Stone Cold weren't there anymore. I mean, some people were like doing it to be funny, but I mean, for the most part, people didn't care. You know, the Bloodline storyline was that good. The Royal Rumble match was that good that we didn't care that The Rock wasn't there. Yeah, there was Booker T. You know, Booker T came out, did his thing. Edge was there, but Logan Paul was there. But Logan Paul is going to be a fixture going forward. But I mean, Edge and Booker T were like two good legends. That's okay to have a good legends touch. Nothing wrong with that. But we saw for years and years recently with Vince that there was an over reliance on legends, and I don't think we're going to see that now with Triple H. I don't think we will. And it's also like you pointed out, where you'd have like legends beating up a young guy. Under Vince, it was like, okay, here's a reminder. We're gonna shove in your face that Stone Cold and Rock and all these guys, they're on a different level. Even guys like Jake Roberts or, Kurt Angle, like these guys are on a different level compared to like the young talent, the New Day or Austin Theory or guys like that. It's like, yeah, these guys, they're not in the same league as the past stars. Whereas Triple H has kind of been like, okay, like we could use these young stars to kind of give the rub. Or sorry, we could use the legends to give the rub to the young stars. And then that's what we've seen too. And it's really like, I'm glad you brought that up because that was a good point.
Well, like I remember, a perfect comparison. I don't remember which exact year this was in, but there was a SmackDown show. I think it was SmackDown and MSG. They had the Undertaker appearance. This was maybe 2 years ago, sometime 2-3 years ago. It's SmackDown MSG. The Undertaker comes out. He does his usual antic, and then Sami Zayn comes out. And the Undertaker just chokeslams him and just beats him up basically. And that was the opening of the show. And you compare that to nowadays, where instead Sami Zayn's an integral part of a genuinely phenomenal storyline in the main event scene. He's used really well. Whenever they get the Undertaker on the show, he's working in this case with the Bray Wyatt LA Knight thing. They use him. So you get a bit of that nostalgia, rubbing off on the new stuff. We're not having The Rock just come out to beat up Sami Zayn. That's just the end of the show. That stuff doesn't happen now. The show works better and the booking is more logical, which I appreciate. I'm not watching every single show, but from what I've seen with Triple H's stuff, I don't see massive plot holes, which is good because that got really annoying. Watching shows thinking this doesn't make sense, this guy's being used poorly and the company just loves doing it. I don't know. There were a lot of holes previously, but yeah, there's less now. There's less now.
Yeah, absolutely. SmackDown.